Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. My wife and I, along with others, investigate everything paranormal in nature. Every week, we will discuss everything from creepy haunted locations to ghosts to Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, and other cryptid creatures, and explore all things paranormal in nature. Hey guys, so we're back. We were just in Florida last weekend and we came back, and as you can see, we've rearranged the office. It's been changed around a little bit. You can see the haunted dolls behind me now are up on shelves where they probably should be. Oh, that was weird. And hopefully they'll be happy up there. This one, which seems to watch you all the time, scary as hell. If you're looking at her, her eyes tend to move. I don't know if you guys will be able to see her from here, but if you're watching the podcast, you'll be able to see this on a Rumble and YouTube channel. If you're not over here on our video podcast on a Rumble or YouTube channel, you feel free to click the link below and come on over if you're listening on our audio. But yeah, we've rearranged the whole office. You can see the dolls are up on the shelves, and then this shelf here, the second shelf down, has a lot of our haunted objects we've collected over the years, and then also, of course, this shelf here as well has them. The fourth shelf down, I guess, if you're counting the very top, has our Bigfoot alien stuff, and then the shelf down below has our Bigfoot stuff, and then here, I'll move out of the way. You can see there's ghost hunting stuff, and then down the very bottom is kind of our research stuff, the microscope, and some research books and stuff like that. So, yeah, we rearranged the office finally. We finally got it done. Things are more organized. Amanda's now sitting next to me, which is great. So when we do our podcast together, we'll be able to have an easier time of it, I think. All right, so let's get into this. The legend of the skunk ape. The legend of the skunk ape basically started around the 1920s. That's when reports actually started getting reported. Now, that doesn't mean skunk ape hasn't been around for longer. It just means that's when the first reports officially kind of came in. Now, that doesn't mean there weren't reports before then, but it does mean that these are the actual recorded accounts. So, skunk ape, where do they live? South America, mainly Southern America. Mainly they're seen in Florida. I'd imagine that every state has its own name for Bigfoots, um, but they call this one skunk ape. And the reason they do that is it actually has a foul odor that accompanies it. And it smells kind of skunky and gross and stuff like that. So they call this skunk ape. Again, the first reports started coming in around the 1920s. In 1960 to 1970s, the reports started in Dade County. There was actually 13 sightings back in the 1974 period. In 2000s, make photos were taken, and we'll take a look at that and the Miami-Dade area. And then the local sheriffs were dispatched, but no creature was found. Um, and then in 2000s, a guy named Dave Sheely, he actually shot a video of the skunk ape in an open field. He said he was looking for deer and heard something move in the water and looked over and saw what he said was a skunk ape running through the water, probably trying to get away. So again, the skunk apes on average are reported to be around 8 feet tall and in the 450-pound range, and they're seen in day or night. Okay, so let's take a little bit deeper dive into this. Sorry, there's something weird happening in this office right now. Okay, so let's take a look at Florida. So we want to start with the Miami-Dade area, which is actually down towards the tip of Florida. And we're gonna look in here. Okay, so the Miami-Dade area, you have the Everglades Safari Park, you have the Everglades and Francis White Taylor Wildlife Refuge. You've got Big Cypress Wildlife Management Area. You got the Big Cypress Wildlife Management Area. There's a nature preserve up here. This whole area, there's the Everglades. What was that? Oh, I already read that. But this area is massive. I mean, there's you could put a whole state inside of this refuge area. Let's just call it a reserve, where they basically are trying to keep the animals safe and keep hunters out. But look at how big that is. I mean, you could fit maybe Rhode Island in this section of area. So the reports are coming in this area out here. I imagine people are coming out here, basically looking to hunt or whatever. And there are deer and stuff like that. Bear with me for a second. There's a lot of wildlife out here. Our Amanda and I, like I said, we just went to Florida to go to Universal Studios and Disney World, and we had a great time. We didn't get a whole lot of chances to really look around and do research out here. Unfortunately, if we had more time, we would have, but unfortunately, we weren't able to. So next time, we didn't come down this far, but I would imagine that this area could be a real big hot spot for them. I mean, look at how big this section of Florida is. And there's not a whole lot of people in here, I imagine. I imagine there's people that live in here. But these are probably swamps and forest and stuff like that, and full of crocs and other animals. And this would be a perfect area for an animal that wanted to be secluded. Uh, Easy for them to move around without being seen. Who knows what's in there? And so basically, you have Miami over here, and it's all Miami is basically just along the coast. The further inland you go, there's nothing. It's all sparse. A lot of these little towns are basically all on the coast until you get about up to Orlando. And then even Orlando is very wooded and stuff like that, just on the outskirts of Orlando and Tampa Bay and all that stuff. Those are the only places where I really kind of see big towns in here. Um, One thing I was so surprised about is the drive, how far down Florida really is, how big Florida actually really is. If you go into Jacksonville, you have a bunch of just wildlife refuge areas, and there's just big chunks of area where essentially there's nothing. When we were driving along, I think we were on the 75 for a while, and I think we took the 10 to the 75. It was just basically like driving through the middle of a forest. Both sides of the road were just trees. It was just Greenland. I was also surprised to see the elevation gain too, that we were 100 feet above sea level. Everybody thinks Florida is completely flat. It's not. And then if you come over here to where my dad lives, over here in Pensacola, it's actually pretty forest as well. So this whole area is a great area for skunk ape. I mean, they could be in this area, and nobody would actually know that they're here. I mean, my dad he lives what, half a mile from the beach, and or he has a house down there that he doesn't live there right now, but he rents it out. And his house, when he first moved in, they had just built it, and so they didn't put up fences in the backyard and stuff. So one day he calls me, he's like, Matt, there's a bear in my backyard with two little cubs. And he said they're just out there scrounging around and they're basically drinking out of his freshwater well that he has back there. And it's not for human consumption, but basically it's for the sprinklers. And so essentially they were out there drinking, then they took off. But he since has put up a fence. But that area is also very forested. So I was very surprised when we drove through this area how much wildlife is actually still out here in this area and how wild Florida actually is. It really honestly reminded me of Texas a lot, in the eastern Texas part of Texas. And so the more we drove through, the more I'm like scratching my head thinking, wow, I mean, this could really be a place where Skunk Ape could be. All right, so let's take a look at these reports. So this is the picture that lady took. And if you're basically what you're seeing on here is, for the people who are listening audibly, you're seeing a couple of palm trees that are probably 4 or 5 feet tall, maybe a little taller. The story behind this goes that a lady um, heard a noise in her backyard, and she took her camera out and took a picture. It was pitch black, and she turned on the flash and took a picture, and this is what came out. So here's a better picture of it. This has been cropped in. I'm not going to click on these. Unfortunately, YouTube and their copyright issues. I don't want to have an issue with a copyright issue by clicking on these, but this is just a Google search. You can do this same Google search. All I looked up was Skunk Ape, Florida, and all these pictures came up. So, yeah, this is reported to be a skunk ape. To me, it looks a little bit more like an orangutan, a very large orangutan. It could be that whatever they're eating out there uh, is allowing them to get a little bit bigger. So I have heard of escaped animals that they found out in the wildernesses before of Florida from the zoos. They do have a lot of hurricanes down there and storms where, unfortunately, those zoos are damaged, and sometimes primates do get loose, and sometimes they are not found. And from what I've been told, if a primate like this, a gorilla, a monkey, or uh, orangutan, or anything like that, wants to be left alone in the wilderness and they don't want to be seen, they will not be seen. So they can be as elusive as Bigfoot if they really want to. Look at how long it took them to find the gorillas in what was it, Africa, the Jane Goodall. I mean, it took her years and years and years of research to actually locate them and find them, and then become friendly with them and enough, friendly enough for them to actually videotape them. So, a lot of people go out, the people that actually go out and do this full time, or not full time, but they really, really love to do this, and they're actually able to get out in the field and do the research and figure out where these Bigfoots are. Basically, they can basically, they get lucky sometimes. Like I've gotten lucky a couple times with Joe's Camp, Black Star Canyon, that I've had accounts with these things. And at that point in time, they get comfortable with you because they know that you're not going to hurt them, and you're not trying to do anything to cause problems for them, and you're able to get a trap cam photo of them, or you're able to get some kind of photo or video of them. They feel a little bit more comfortable with you, so they don't mind walking out in front of a camera. And basically, maybe this skunk ape was hiding out in her backyard for a long period of time, and she just didn't notice it. And maybe one day it made a bunch of noises, not expecting her to come out. And then all of a sudden she came out and was like, oh, hey, oh, crap, I got caught. So it took off. But anyways, let's move on here. So this is the guy that was out looking for the deer, supposedly, and shot this video of a possible skunk ape. Sorry, I think that was one of the dogs. One of the skunk apes basically walking through the water. This is basically like a grassy field that's grown up that has not been mowed for a while, and basically it's flooded maybe. And so here's another picture of it. You can see its arms moving, and stuff like that. So very popular video for skunk ape researchers. Here's another picture of it kind of moving. I can kind of show you these different pictures. Here's another possible video of it. Here's another one. That's kind of blurry. This is better. So again, you guys got to make up your own mind about these things. Here's another video. Now these may not be the same videos, but there's a lot of different pictures and stuff of skunk apes that have been seen. What is this? That looks hoax to me. That could be real. That could be fake. I don't know. Huh. But yeah, I mean, you guys can come through here and look through these and just take a look. Do I think Skunk Ape is real? I believe that they could possibly be real. I think that basically they uh they probably have been there for a long period of time. That's Tink. She's got a cough, unfortunately, we're trying to fix. But anyways, yeah, I think Skunk Ape possibly could be real. I think that the I've never seen one out there, but I didn't think Bigfoot were real either. Tink, really? I didn't think Bigfoot were real either until I had my first encounter with one, and then I basically was hooked. So the more I do the research, the more it's like, okay, that's real. That's really happening. So we will be back out in the field. The men and I will be more seriously out in the field here. I think at the end of the summer. We're just working on some stuff around the house. It's our plan was to basically build another house and move by the end of this year. And because that didn't happen, as you've seen, let me stop sharing my screen. As you've seen, the everything's kind of getting rearranged in this room. There's still some more stuff I got to do, but things have been rearranged, and we're going to continue to make changes to the house and get more organized. And as we do, we'll be back out in the field more, and stuff like that. I think we're going to try and shoot at least once a month and get the our show, Exploring the Unknown with Matt and Amanda, out there. I just want to give a quick shout out to all those people who've come up and said hi. We've seen our truck recently. It's been fun talking to you guys and meeting you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time to come up and say hello. Like I said, it was a lot of fun meeting you, and I look forward to hopefully talking to you guys in the future. So, anyways, guys, this might be a shorter podcast than normal, but I've got to kind of get ready for work here. So, you guys have a good one, and we will catch you on the next one.